Hello AOS fans, we're back with this beauty. Now I know most of you have already seen it because everybody's online with it already.
Everyone and their grandmother's done one of these, even GW for once, which is...
Yeah, GW have done one, well everybody's done one, like Pete says, even Pete's grandmother's done one. But we're here tonight, Agents of Sigmar.
Purist, really.
Agents of Sigmar. And we are going to have a quick look through this. We're not going to go over it in huge detail because Games Workshop have kind of done a very well produced one, which you can look at instead of this. If you
There's
want.
a lot less waffling.
Yeah. Anyway, here it is. Warhammer 40,000 Dark Imperium, Warhammer 8th edition. Now, I keep calling it Warhammer 8th edition so often I forgot that it was actually called Dark Imperium today.
Yeah,
I quick look off the top of the box there.
The ultimate Warhammer 40k box. The ultimate is the ultimate.
Yeah, although obviously ultimate means last, and I suspect probably isn't going to be the ultimate.
Maybe saying about how you find your child becoming a pedant.
Yeah. It's one of my bugbears actually. It's one of my bugbears. Ultimate not used right, but apparently I think it's like literally. I think the meaning of the word has changed.
And decimating.
Decimate, yes. Yeah.
They were decimated. That's not so bad.
Yeah.
It's only 1/10.
It's quite bad.
Well,
quite bad as a kid.
Yeah,
right.
Especially if you've only got 3.
Well, sure, that was probably worse than 10. Anyway, here it is. So we'll open it up now. The first thing you might notice is that it doesn't open like ordinary.
Yeah, it's got this
sleeve. Now I'm slightly anti-sleeve, but that's just good for a t-shirt. That's yes, there's a nice sleeve it comes out of, which but I was joking. I made that silly joke about t-shirts, but actually these kind of sleeve boxes I always end up tearing them. This one I don't think is as bad. I did have a look earlier. So when you lift it out, you get a separate
nice little Primaris Nurgle marine thing there. Everyone, I remember someone commenting that image, which was like one of the first things they showed you when they started talking about the new 40k edition. That's obviously a Primaris marine with the new mark of helmet and everything. And it was right in front of us the whole time when GW said they were going to be bringing out something new. It was right there.
Right there. There it is. So that's got the models in.
I love the idea, separate box there.
I quite like that. I guess.
Interesting way of doing
it. I don't know whether they could then. Well, they couldn't stop them doing it anyway. I guess they could easily keep this inlay and then add new boxes down the line if they wanted to.
True.
Different versions. The old Iron Orcs, Tyranids and Necrons, something, I don't know. And yes, actually I didn't own these earlier. I have a look through. But I left. Comes with a nice seal.
Little Imperium Inquisitorial seal there.
Pete got a break seal there because he's very excited about this. You know how excited he was about Blood Bowl? Nothing compared with this.
Oh, there are big
somebody's messages. I think it's one of you.
Probably not. No. Big pile of grey, big sea of grey, lots of sprues.
Lots and lots of sprues. Now, of course, these are Marines, but they're not they're not ordinary Marines. They're Primaris Marines. So
now I know some people who've got a lot of hate for the Primaris Marines, and other people who've got nothing but love for them. And I'm not massively fazed by Marines at all, but I like them. You know, they're just bigger Marines. And what's not?
How much bigger are they? Because I couldn't tell from the picture.
They're about a head or so. Head or so taller,
right.
I think.
I haven't actually seen them lined up.
There's been a few side by sides of.
Yeah, I was thinking we should do that, but we obviously we've just opened it, so we haven't.
It's quite hard.
Yet.
Yeah. But they're about a head or so taller than a regular Marine, but lots and lots of pieces there. Even for, I mean, you get this with everything GW. The pieces are spectacularly crafted.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 smaller sprues and 2 bigger screws, and basically you get Space Marines and Death Guard, which I'm sure you all know, but maybe not. Maybe like me, you're new to the game.
The Death Guard, I think that I'm going to get it wrong now. I don't want to say. I think they're the 14th Legion, so they were the 14th Space Marine chapter.
Okay.
To have been either discovered or made.
Right. So. Okay. And it might be worth now having a quick kind of break, well not break, but a quick discussion of how Agents of Sigmar intend to approach Warhammer, sort of reviewing this. Then there are obviously other outlets out there who are much more professional than us and have much more time than us, more people than us.
Yeah.
But so we'll be producing content as quickly as we can, but that won't always be that quick.
We are busy dads. So.
I've got a busy June. Yeah. I am a complete beginner, and my kids are really keen to get into this. So my Geek Dad focus and focus of any videos I do will be on what it's like to play as a complete newcomer who knows almost nothing.
A rank amateur.
Yeah, almost nothing about Warhammer 40,000, and that'd be very easy for me because I know almost nothing about Warhammer 40,000. Pete is our comparative expert, so I think
is the right word.
I think you'll be taking kind of more of a old guard.
I looked it up the other day. I didn't think it was that long ago, but I think the last time I really played it seriously was 5th edition.
Right.
And
so in some ways you're relatively new to.
Yeah, although I've kept up to date on a lot of the rules, so I'm fairly familiar with what's changed, especially things like vehicles changing from having armour to having wounds now.
Right, okay, yes.
Which a lot of people are very upset about, but I think it works brilliantly.
Yes, so I have no opinion. No. So that's basically it. So I'm going to try and approach it from a beginner's point of view. Now, if there are any questions you'd like answered as a beginner, if you're looking at buying the set and you want to know about it, or is it suitable for your kids or whatever, then do leave them in the comment box below, and I'll do my best to answer them, as will Pete, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's the minis. I mean, so there are hundreds of pictures of these online. Yeah. Games Workshop's website is full of them, and they're lovely. I mean, they're
some of the pieces you'd expect are sort of just two pieces, like the pox walkers look like they're just 2-piece kits. So maybe it's just the arms or a head or something like that gets stuck on. So they're nice and simple because you've got like 20 of them, I think you've got to stick together.
Right.
But then you've got the marine sprues are. I mean, there's separate arms, separate heads, separate 2-part bodies.
Let's flash that up, but you can see there's masses of pieces. Now, there is going to be the standard issue with, do I put them all together first so I can play, or do I paint them? And I think there's people going to be scratching their heads. I know some people can paint ridiculously fast. I can't, so I think I'll be assembling them and spraying them just so we can get some differentiation on the field. Yeah. But like these ones here, with the plasma guns, obviously as soon as you stick the plasma gun on there, paint behind it, it's not going to be that easy.
It's not that easy. But if you're doing to a tabletop standard, then you're not doing too many close-up shots and stuff, then that kind of level I think is mostly okay.
Yeah. So that's the minis.
There are loads
of minis. I mean,
and there's some big old bits in there as well. So there's the Blight drone thingy.
Probably says on here how many minis there are. 53 Citadel miniatures, 1 captain, 2 lieutenants, 1 ancient. I'm not sure what an ancient is. 10 intercessors, 3 inceptors, 5 hellblasters.
Oh, you're going to suffer again like you did with your
Yep.
Your liberators and your retributors.
Intercessors and interceptors. Yeah. So I hadn't noticed that. So yes, what was it? Lord Calliston and Lord Celestin.
Yeah. And your
retributors and liberators and
every other one.
things. Yes.
Radiators.
The Death Guard is a 1 Lord of Contagion, 1 Noxious Blightbringer, 1 Malignant Plague Caster. Good names. 7 Plague Marines, 1 Fetid Bloat Drone, and 20 Poxwalkers. There we go. Sounds like a standard night out for me.
But yeah, you've got all your sprees there. There's absolutely loads of stuff in here. And they all are GW's usual level of spectacular detail.
I think they really are raising the bar with each game they produce. The minis are amazing. I'm looking forward to those. I do actually like the, saying back people don't like the new Marines. I haven't got much to compare it to, but I really like the new visors. I know they changed the face.
Yeah, because it's the Mark 10.
They change them semi-regularly.
But
I really like them
more recently. I think.
I really like them, so I'm quite looking forward to painting those. Hopefully, along with everything else I've got to paint. So that's the minis. I don't think we dwell too much longer on those.
No, they're all over the internet as well, so you can find them almost anywhere you care to even look.
Yeah, or not
look. Yeah. But they're packed in there nice and neatly. Loads of room. And I do like the fact that they've put it in a separate box so that you don't get any damage to any paperwork or anything like that. Seems to be a thing they've started doing more because Blood Bowl had that sheet in and Silver Tower and that all had those sheets in there to stop the damage. So like that there, definitely like that. And there's a little symbol on the back there. I can't work out if that's sort of like a chaosy symbol or whether it's more Imperial. So
It's a bit scary.
Can't really tell. Quite
death's head
subtle. Yeah, well, it has got a big skull in the middle, hasn't it? So it's probably not good either, mate.
No.
They do call it grimdark for a reason. It's grimdark.
Right, go through the quick other things then. Dice, and I think they're actually slightly bigger than
The white ones?
And
Or is
the
it just
white
because
ones,
they're red?
but they're translucent.
Yeah.
They might not be bigger, but they're definitely translucent.
They do look different.
I think they're
They
bigger.
do look different.
So I like those. I like those dice.
Yeah, they feel
To
slightly...
embrace the change.
They feel
Embrace
slightly...
the change.
They feel slightly squarer than the white
Oh,
ones.
you think they might
Maybe
be,
that's going to get rid of some of the ones.
A ruler, you know, can't play without a ruler. But everybody will.
Nice and wiggly. So you can, if you want to, you want to get around something,
yeah,
you can.
That's true. And on the other side of the box, so these are actually in sections in the box underneath with the big rule book, and there's little cardboard flappy sections at this side. This side has got the bases and
many bases.
Yeah, and these flying bases.
Oh, these new funky
for the
curved.
Yeah, for the new
ones
marines with jetpacks, are they?
Sorry?
Are they for marines with jetpacks?
Yes, you've got 3 guys in there that have jetpacks, and I think they started using those on the Caradron dwarfs from Age of Sigmar. So there's been some jump troops that use those guys, which are just nice and just one plastic stick.
Okay, now what's left in the box?
Many.
There are a few things left in the box. I don't really know what the best order to show them in.
I don't think there's.
So we have the phenomenally thick rulebook with its cover of a sort of hawk
or an eagle and a snake intertwined around a thunder hammer.
Interesting.
I think I've seen that one on either previous editions or I've seen that artwork from, I'm sure.
Anyway, there is no time for peace, no respite, no forgiveness. There is only war.
That's the 40k tagline. There is only war.
There is only.
But to call it a rule
has that
book,
always been the tagline?
For quite a while, I think there is only war. Yeah, but to call this a rule book is it's overdoing it a little. Well, it's underselling it a little, if anything. Sorry, but we'll come back and tell you why.
And then there's this.
What's that?
This, Pete. These are the rules of the game. These are the rules. So
I feel like they've treated this a little by saying, it's 4 pages of rules or whatever, because it's very tiny writing.
And it's actually 8 pages.
8 pages, yeah, but I don't think they said it was 4.
Four double-sided pages of rules for the rules of the game. Now this, for me, obviously, there's been lots on the internet about they're AOSifying the game, because this is basically about the AOS rules, isn't it? Maybe slightly bigger. But this for me, particularly from the new angle point of view or new player point of view, you can play this game and you only need to read that and you can play the game. That's pretty good.
I do like that.
It's also not strictly true, actually, because you do need the army things.
Yes.
Which are in here. So these are the 2 that come with the. These are effectively the army list, I suppose, for the figures that come in the box.
Yep.
Now, there's lots of information in here.
It's got some beautiful artwork already in the inside cover, so I'll try and get some scans of that up to show people. You've got Death Guard, you've got the Primaris Space Marine logo.
Yeah. So this is Primaris Space Marines. So this is absolutely completely utterly new. It's all new Space Marines in the box. There's none of the old style Space Marines. You've got the cards to play. So I can't remember how many units I said there were. In mind, you've got these data cards, which is how the whole game is going to be driven, very similar to the AOS War Scrolls. But that's only about 4 pages of this book, which is 24 pages maybe. The rest of it is details of like Space Marine colours and...
You've got different chapters, because you've got the Ultramarine chapters detailed there, but then it also goes through Blood Angels, Salamanders,
all the big chapters, really, isn't it?
But it's also got new ones as well. Some of the new foundings that Gilliman had said, want some new chapters, get some new blood in.
Yes.
Like it.
And so there's a little bit about each squad, a bit like you get with the War Scrolls. There's kind of a little bit about each bit. I think in AOS in the book it's like a picture description, and then the War Scroll. Yeah. Well, this has got a picture and description, and then what are these actually called? They're not called War Scrolls, are they?
No, data sheets or something.
Data sheets, I think it is data sheet. Yeah, at the back there. So that's the way the game goes. So although the rules are quite small, you do need a data sheet for whatever you're playing.
Yeah.
And those things aren't free, which is the biggest difference between
That is true, yeah.
One of the bigger differences between this new 8th edition 40k and AOS. But they are bringing...
They're up for pre-order now on GW.
Yeah, there's 5 of them.
There is 5, yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to use existing models, you will need to buy those. But you probably know that already. But if you are new to the game, everything you need, if you've got no miniatures whatsoever yet, everything you need
this
is
will give you the whole
there. Basically, these three things is all you need for a game. And you only need this really, and back pages are here.
Yeah.
So that's pretty damn good, I think.
I like it. You haven't got to wade through a million pages of rules before you can even start to do something. You can pretty much crack on straight away.
Yeah, which I think is great. I mean, AOS was like that, wasn't it? Stick your models together, play.
It was,
Play your scenarios. One last thing that's in the box is just some transfer sheets. So you can basically, these are all Space Marine ones, I think. I don't think there are any.
Yeah, by the looks of all different Marine chapter ones.
I guess
it's because the models themselves probably don't have any space on any of their. They're all manky and mouldy and stuff, so they don't really have any room on their shoulder pads for them. They've got spikes growing out and skulls all over them.
They don't need them. They don't need decals.
You can kind of tell them as they come towards you by the stench and the rotting and the falling apartness. Nurgle is my favourite Chaos Demon. I do love a bit of Nurgle.
So then there's this, which is pretty thick.
It's a hefty...
Almost terrifyingly thick, coming in at approximately 277 pages. Plus index.
Yeah, 208.
And you think, well, okay, if I can play the game on those sheets of paper, which I put somewhere, these sheets of paper here, why do I need this? Well...
Killing intruders?
Yeah. I actually think, and bear in mind I used to love my Warhammer 3rd edition rulebook.
That was pretty chunky.
My Lost and the Damned in particular, the Chaos books from years and years ago. I actually think this might be the best book Games Workshop have produced from what they've produced. It's an absolute work of art. From start to finish, really.
I mean, if you haven't got pages splashed with just gorgeously painted models, you've just got the iconography, the artwork, and the detail that they put into it is just scary. It's just phenomenal. Yeah. I do feel that picture shows 2 of the worst shots in the entire galaxy because they're about a foot away from each other. They still haven't hit anything.
No.
But it is a brilliant, nice dynamic shot. And on the previous page, there's the. On the very first page almost is the iconic, I think that's John Blanche.
Yep.
Of the Emperor. Wasting away on his golden throne. Slowly desiccating and turning into nothing but a corpse.
And on the very first page you've got the whole cross swords thing. That's
the classical, Primaris and Noble Marine crossover there.
So, I mean, this thing is gorgeous. The number of pictures in it are incredible, and it starts very, very gently. It starts off with the Warhammer 40,000 hobby, what it is.
It doesn't scare you away immediately.
I have to say, in some ways, it's a little bit after the horse has bolted because you've already bought this.
Yeah, that's true.
And you've got this with it, but...
committed by that.
Yeah, exactly. It starts with the painting being great. I mean, I guess they will be open in the shop to look at. So
yeah, they're already in the shop now. You can see them in
there. There's the gaming, how the different types of gaming are there. That's another key thing for those of you who haven't played the game before. You've got the 3 types of play, which Games Workshop are huge on now, aren't they? Three ways to play: open play, narrative play, and match play. And there's a brief synopsis of what those things are there. Basically, they're kind of what they say.
Yeah.
Open play is pick up whatever you've got in your box and play with it. Narrative play is play some sort of particular story that you want to.
Yeah, sometimes it might have points based, but sometimes it might be mission based. Yeah. So there's various.
And match play is kind of like for your tournaments and your things with points and very much more serious.
Now, people have argued that open play and narrative play have probably existed since the game existed, and since 2 people could just turn up and say, do you want to play a game or something, and then just go on. But it's nice that GW started to put something in there to give some structure.
Well, it was never formalised, was it?
Exactly,
so people wouldn't really do it, I think. Because it was almost like, you've got to
play. How you play the game.
You've got to play with points.
Yes, exactly. You don't play it without points. That's part of the whole game. How can you not play it? There would be madness. But now they've given that there.
And then every single page is gorgeous. And
filled with detail.
And filled with... Now, some people might say this is completely useless. and arguably it is, but it basically draws on the 30 years of, because this is also the 30th anniversary year of Warhammer, which says the 30 years of the history of the game and of the world in which the game takes place. And so you've got a whole history of how, I was going to say the Empire, but the
Imperium.
The Imperium come together, and all the good things and the bad things that have happened to it, the Age of Darkness, the Great Betrayal. So it goes through that, and then there's all the major events, and then we keep going, and you've got the Dark Imperium. I mean, this is a good read. This is like, you know,
and it really sets the scene for what the Imperium is, and it's not this nice and shiny and gold and pleasant utopia. It's grim and it's dark and it's a vicious struggle to survive.
And then it goes on to talk about the armies. So you've got all the Space Marines, or the Adeptus Astartes, which is basically anatomy of a Space Marine there.
See, it's completely pointless, but I love when they go into the detail on stuff on the armour. It just gives it that little extra level of believability.
All the chapters, so you know, all the chapter information is in here. Now, I don't know whether they really exist in all books because I only owned the first one. But
certain armies definitely did have their own codices.
Yes, exactly. And we've got the Space Marine Codex for the previous edition, and obviously all this chapter stuff is in there. I don't know whether it was in the.
We've also got a summary of like the Death Watch and Space Wolves, and Blood Angels, and then the Astra Militarum, which is obviously good old Imperial Guard. We'll kill them by burying them under bodies. Is their tactic, and all the different Imperial Guard types, like Death Corps, and.
The Germans, the Russians, the desert soldiers.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then it goes on to the Adeptus Mechanicus, and so basically
like the Skitarii?
I do like the Skitarii, and then the Titans, and it just goes on and on and on with all. I don't know if I'm saying a bad way. I don't mean that at all.
No,
all the special forces like the Inquisition, the Adeptus Sororitas.
No one expected them.
And then a lot of pictures so that you can feel bad about your own painting.
It's like paint shaming. It's like body shaming but for painting. You could be this good if you just tried harder. No.
And then it goes on to the Forces of Chaos. So
the Rulers Powers.
And then I do notice Slaanesh is in here.
Oh yeah.
We did wonder whether they might be trying to phase Slaanesh out.
Yes, because in AOS Slaanesh got captured and hasn't been seen really since. But there's
definite Slaanesh you didn't really get.
There are definitely.
There aren't so many in here, but they are definitely in here. And then that's getting too heavy.
You've got the Chaos Marines, 1,000 Suns,
and then a whole lot of Plague Guard.
Some more beautiful pictures there of all the nerdy stuff.
Yeah.
Now I remember when pictures started shooting around of 40k. Somebody posted a thing online saying, in the background you can see a silhouette of a plague drone. Does that mean we're going to get plastic plague drones? And lots of people said, don't be stupid. You know, that's a Forge World thing. They're not just going to do a plastic version. There's a plastic version.
It's in the box.
So whoever that was, you saw it coming.
And then we go on.
More pictures, beautiful scenery showing off everything they've got. They've obviously got a lot. And then you go into the Xenos races.
The Xenos, because I think they kind of, in one of the adverts, they split it, didn't they? Imperium, Chaos, and Xenos.
They did, yeah.
3 prongs of their medal range, I guess. And so then you've got all the lists of all the. So you've got all the Eldari.
Eldari, as they're now called.
Yeah, and the Dark Eldari.
Drukari.
And on it goes. And the
Necrons.
Interestingly, I didn't know that Nikolak was a Necron thing.
Oh, the Nihilak Oxide.
Yeah, Nihilak Oxide. I didn't realise that was a. So there we go. That's my new today. And then the Orcs. My son collects those, so he'll be moving those.
Soft spot for the Orcs.
Yeah.
One of my most favourite battle reports was with the Orcs versus Space Wolves many years ago.
And the Tau and the Tyranid. So this just goes on and on and on. It goes on for so long.
And we're already to 130 odd pages.
Pete might have already edited most of this out. It's gone on and on and on. But the book is gorgeous.
Love Nids.
Yeah, and it goes on and on. Beautiful painting. So, and then it goes on to the world in which it all takes place in.
Because this one is set all around how Ultramar, which was the best part of the Imperium, the most ordered and most prosperous bit, Nurgle's decided he wants to have some of that, and it's all about how Nurgle's starting to invade into that zone and stuff. Hence why Roboute come back. Roboute.
I see. So we had Gathering Storm, and I know that Roboute Guilliman came back then, and there was various shenanigans with the Eldari
Shenanigans.
and the new
thingy
new
Cool.
Adeptus Mechanicus, but
Cool. Who made the Primaris Marines?
Yes,
He's the man who made them.
So, but Nurgle wasn't.
They weren't in it then. No. There was
so
no
they,
Nurgle
so this
presence
is this is after that, is it? And
Yeah, I
Nurgle
think.
will turn up into the chaos in with the small c.
Yes.
Of what followed, because
yes,
it kind of split
the eye of terror spilled out and cut off a whole chunk of the Imperium and stuff.
Right.
And they were like the Blood Angels were on that side and.
There's a whole bit here called the Fall of Cadia.
Yeah,
Maybe I should read that.
Not now.
No, it's just what. And then on the first day, so yeah.
But I don't know what happened at the end of that because there was guy you're painting right now.
Cypher.
So there was a whole cipher going on and what was happening there. They were trying to get back to Terra. And I don't think they finished that bit off. It's kind of like the Eye Terror and Splution, then Gilliman went, right, got to go over there, let's get my army of new guys.
I know they announced yesterday that there's going to be a new global campaign, didn't they?
Yeah, so that could be all of the attacking against Ultramar and all that kind of thing, or it could be another war for Terra.
I think it would be quite interesting if, I'm just saying this off the top of my head, if Agent Sigmar tried to get involved in that. Tried to play a couple of games, probably small ones. Probably small ones. But yeah, that'd be fun. So then there's more, the Blood Crusade and more worlds, Craft World, Armageddon, the War in the Rift. So there's just loads of information about where the battles are kind of taking place.
Yeah, all the different.
And then on page,
where did we get to? 280.
On page 170. So 280. So yeah, 100. So yeah, well over half.
Yeah, well over.
You actually get to there is only war. And the rules of the game. And it talks you a little bit about the open play and the narrative play and the match play.
And Battle-Forged armies, which is important for the new way of playing. Yeah.
And then you've got the core rules. So basically, there's these core rules are duplicated what's on this little piece of paper here.
And they start at 176 and they go through to about like 186, and that's going to be about it.
Yeah, 183, and then there's a whole.
And there's a nice little example there.
Example turn.
So if you know nothing about the game, you can read that 10 pages of rules, and you've got a whole example.
And then how to fight in a battle, and then the actual only war scenario there, which is.
That gives you a nice basic scenario to actually play with when you don't know.
Well, that's what they recommend if you've never played the game before, to play that 2 or 3 times before you, and get familiar before you start going on to the things later in the book, which and the rest of the book basically are the campaigns. And
you've got the there's so after that you've got the open play, you've got a load of narrative play missions which have loads of bits about reserves and sentries and all this kind of thing. You get the actual missions themselves, so meat grinder, which comes with, in the new game there's stratagems which you can spend points on, and there are mission specific stratagems that enable you to do certain things or boost yourself.
Get so many command points depending on how you've structured your army. So
yes.
if you've got a very structured army, you get more command points, I believe.
Yes,
and you can use stratagems almost like jokers almost, that you can play to give yourself a little small tactical advantage.
Yes, so
play with how many command points you've got. It's quite a nice way of structuring things.
It gives you a chance to throw a spanner in your opponent's works no matter what, whereas some people might have their army set up in a very particular way with a very specific set of strategy that they can use to steamroll you, and you can suddenly throw a few of these things out and it might really...
I also assume, and I don't know, but I assume the whole way it's structured is to try to make those kind of steamrolling things, because they're less balanced and tend to be more...
Yes.
You kind of to make you lose out by choosing that.
Yeah.
option.
So the more you pick and choose from different armies and stuff to make a less fluffy force, if you like, or a less cohesive force, you won't get as many of those command points.
Yeah.
Whereas if you pick your entire army from Imperial Guard for whatever reason, you will get lots more command points. Your force might not be the most Death Starry army there, but it will give you a lot more things to play with and more ways to screw over your opponent basically during a game.
I have to say I like the idea, because I like lots of the models. And don't really want one clan.
Yeah.
I'd like that. I want to dip in. I know they're not really clans, well they are if they're all something.
Well, that's true.
But I want to dip in and out and pick things. So I might do that. So I actually may not end up with a very very many command points doing that, but I'll be doing it for...
But it's like AOS, you can, with AOS you want to pick, if you want to be Order, you can literally have a Dwarf unit, an Elf unit, Dark Elf unit, a Human, all that kind of stuff. So you can, it's doing what GW should have done a long time ago. Instead of saying, no, you can't have that unit, you can only have this small group. They've just gone, buy what you want. You want something.
It kind of makes sense for them. You buy whatever models you like, rather than go, well, I've got my 2,000 points now, I don't need anything else because it's no use.
Thanks, bye. And you get to page 212 and you get to the matched play section, which is a load more missions, which there are 12 in total. There's the Eternal War and the Maelstrom of War tables.
So what are they? I did read about those.
Different types of missions. So you've got 6 different ways to set up your armies. They might be on the diagonal or lengthways or widthways, and even one where you've got 2 quadrants with an 18-inch circle keeping you apart, just to keep things a bit different. And then you've got all the different missions. So there's like No Mercy, the Scouring, Big Guns Never Tire, the Relic. And these all have their own specific victory conditions in them as well, like Taken Hold and Slay the War and First Blood as well, which are all from the previous game. And you've also got tactical objectives, so you've got a D66 worth of tactical objectives.
Okay, we're talking about D66 when I mentioned it in my last Geek Down review, and one of the editors said, is it really a D66? How does that work? And of course it's not, because there are no zeros. So it's like a D55. And it's not even that.
It's not really a D66 tool, is it? Because you haven't got 57, for example.
No, that's one.
So,
well, exactly,
A D6 and D6 table system, and that gives you what I liked when I used to watch a lot of the battle reports before, because I haven't played with the mission tactical objective stuff in play, is that it forces you to move around, because you might be nice and set up in your little gun line over here, and then your tactical objective might be you've got to capture that objective right.
So they're random,
and they're random, yes. But you can have one of your stratagems that you can use your command points on. Is if you don't like the one you've picked, you can discard it and pick a new one. So that makes things a little bit more interesting, and there are various things from area denial and holding on to all kinds of stuff. It's all crazy. It's all great. And then you've got the other missions as well. And that goes on from page, was it 212? That's the match play missions, and that goes through to 238. So there's a good 20 odd pages there of just missions, basically, which half the time you probably won't use most of. And then you've got the advanced rules section, which is all about terrain and battle zones. So not only can you have your missions, you can have, and it gives you a bit about battle-forged armies, and then it shows you all of the different, you can see here the detachments, which I'm sure people are quite familiar with, where you've got however many, anybody who's played this before might be familiar with, and it can tell you, okay, if you want a patrol detachment, you have to have at least 1 HQ and 1 troop unit, but you get no command points for that. Okay. Or if you have a battalion, you have to have at least 2 HQ and 3 troops, but that gives you 3 command points, that kind of stuff.
I have to say, I used to find these diagrams, because we've got the codexes, I used to find them absolutely baffling.
Yes, they can be a little bit, until you use it a little bit, and then it's sort of quite...
But I stress, from the beginner point of view, you don't need any of that to play the game. Your first game is to play your friends or your children, in my case. You don't need to have any of that stuff at all. You just need these basic rules and data sheets, what you want to play. And all of this, nearly all of this book is kind of like...
Apart from about those 10 pages in the middle, which was the rules, the rest is just either extras that you might want to chuck on top, or just fluff and story. It's
to enhance your game. So you can take the core game, which is a tiny kernel in the middle.
A kernel.
A tiny... you can take the core game, which is like a tiny kernel in the middle, and then build on it as you go, which I think is a really nice.
Yes, because you can get the basic rules of movement, shooting, combat down to you can recite those off the top of your head, and then you can whack in missions, and you can chuck in, like you might want to then stick in terrain rules, and there's all stuff with barricades, fuel pipes, which give you extra save but might kill you because they might just blow up. There's all that kind of funky stuff which was from the previous game, but before you had to have all this really. You had to have all of it in when you played the game. It was all or nothing, so you'd have like 5 books with different rules and everything, whereas this time 10 pages might be all you need.
Yeah, which I think is really good. And so much easier for beginners, much more friendly for people who don't know how the game is working.
And that is the last chunk of the book is just all the missions and a little bit on campaigns and stuff like that. And after all of that, you've got the last page, this nice little double page picture spread here, and you've got there's obviously a Chaos guy down there who's got 1 leg and an arm missing, you've got some Imperial fists, and and it's just a nice double page
So
spread
he
here.
appears to be shooting.
He's harvesting his gene seeds.
Ah, okay, not
So
shooting him in the face.
No, he's
Looks
a
like.
apothecary.
Ah, okay.
And when
Oh,
the
that's what
Marines die,
apothecary-
they take their gene seed out so they can take it back and implant it in another person.
I have encountered that. I have encountered that in the literature. So what are these guys? I thought these.
No, he kind of looks like I thought it was a gene stealer cult thing, but I'm assuming he's some kind of servo.
Right. Okay. Because I thought when I looked at this picture, of course, none of you can't actually see this picture, so in some ways this is a pointless conversation. I thought they were gene stealer things, and I thought this guy was actually a bad guy, and he was shooting this guy in the face. But it's funny. If you don't know what you're looking at, you can interpret it in different ways. And I thought these were sort of dead bodies being taken up to heaven. It was a sort of stylistic.
Oh right, I see what you mean. Yeah,
thing.
They're mechano-cheruby things. They do like their cherubs and their floating skulls as the Imperium.
Right.
They quite a bit of their budget.
There's one of these in the Shadow War Armageddon, isn't there?
There's like a mechano skull thing with the little arm. Somebody I've seen online on Facebook has done conversions where it's just those things crawling and they look brilliant. I love that.
Well done you. So that is, in a nutshell, the game. I think we've talked for longer than I expected to, and I have to say I'm quite excited about it. Like many of you out there are, and I feel quite privileged to have a copy of this already.
Yes.
But I really like the fact, as I've said 3 or 4 times, that it is this is kind of almost superfluous until you need it. And when you do need it, it's absolutely. I think it's very inspiring.
You could spend a long time putting the models together, reading those 10 pages, playing some small games, and just reading the fluff.
Yeah, I've found this a lot more inspiring than the Age of Sigmar box.
Yeah, the Age of Sigmar box is okay, but it wasn't.
Well, the package.
Yeah, I think part of the problem was the fact they didn't have 30 years worth of stuff.
Well, that's what I think it probably.
Because AOS was just blank. It was because they were starting with a blank slate against them. And they're going, well, we've got to kind of make stuff up from scratch. Whereas on that one, they can literally just sit John Blanche or something like that down, who's worked with them for years, and go, just talk, and we'll write out what you say.
Yeah, and the because obviously Jervis is still involved. I don't know if he's still how much he's involved in this, but he's there with that font of knowledge and that kind of history. I know you talked about the inspiration of Andy Chambers and Jervis Johnson and the.
They've all left their marks on it. So.
Yeah, all those games, and kind of like all those sort of historical games are embedded in the bedrock of this.
Because you had games going on.
It's the bedrock upon which this stands.
It's like everything that happened in the 80s, all the characters, all the named characters that are around are like Gazgul from the Orcs and all that. They came from games that they played in White Dwarfs thing, and they just gave this guy a name, and then something funny happened with him. I think Dante, the Blood Angel guy with half his face missing, in one of the battle reports, he was just a captain called... No, it wasn't Dante, it was Tycho. He was just a captain that they called Tycho, and he got killed by a weird old shaman in one of the battle reports, and afterwards he's become this character that suddenly gets this history built up behind him, and it's... Which, of course, 30 years worth of that.
AOS, to an extent, flattened, because many of the characters didn't carry through.
Well, yeah, apart from the ones that became gods, like Nagash and Sigmar and stuff like most of the actual special characters don't really sort of properly exist. They gave you rules for them because they don't want to annoy anybody and say, oh, you can't use that 40 quid model anymore. But
you had, I'm talking from a Free People's player, you had people like Marius Leitdorf and Carl Franz and all those guys, and they were all embedded in that old world history and played from Wuthrup. Very excited about the Wuthrup announcement, which we should have a little video about that up soon. That was all part of it, and then it was like blank canvas for AOS. And it's partly my own fault. I didn't invest the time in it, but this invites me to invest the time where I didn't feel the AOS rulebook did. Yeah,
and they've done it in a way where you're not just sitting there looking at it thinking, I'm not getting involved in that. It looks like a whole bunch of crazy. It compels you to want to get into it more with the artwork and the way they spoon feed it to you in sections, and then it gets more and more. And when you don't want to look at that to start with, you've got these. You can pick this up, and you can see in here straight away. You can see there's a whole page on just the fetid bloke drone that's going to be flying around with the poxwalkers and who the plague marines are and all that kind of thing. So it gives you absolutely loads of stuff to read up on just to feed that kind of that world.
Fetid bloke drone is a pretty good insult, actually, isn't it?
You fetid bloke drone.
Yes.
It's not the most insulting one, but...
I quite like it, though, because it's kind of like, does that mean?
It's gone by the time the person goes, hang on.
Yeah, exactly.
How dare you? Oh, it's gone.
So that's it.
That's the box.
In a nutshell. In a box. Cardboard box.
In a box, in a nutshell, in another box, in a smaller nutshell.
That is it, and we really like it, and we're looking forward to playing, and we will try and get as many games out and rules discussions and things that we think of that are interesting. Do tell us if there's anything you want to know. So I'm certainly pretty busy in June, but we'll try and get out as much stuff. Games Workshop, if you could consult with me before you bring out stuff, that would be much better, because I was away when this box arrived, so I've just opened it.
It's the third today, and we're recording this now. So everybody's already played the game. They've painted the models.
Actually, we're already looking forward to 9th edition.
We're just sitting there. I said, "Want to see this? It's brilliant."
Thank you for listening. Hopefully you have listened to us in amongst the ocean of
the galaxy.
iOS. I'll try that again.
Jibber-jabber.
The ocean of Warhammer 40,000 stuff that's out there at the moment. And
if you've got any particular questions about the rules or the book that we might be able to answer before they actually come out for general consumption on the 17th, then do let us know. We can try and address those and have a look at them for you.
Yeah, absolutely. But until next time, I'm sure we've got some interesting stuff coming up.
Just notice that bird's got 2 heads.
Yes.
I think we're done.
Until next time, goodbye.